Hickok 45 here, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from, I'm not coming to you from the middle Tennessee hills, am I? So I guess I can't use that line for a change. I'm coming to you from somewhere, some undisclosed location in the West. And some of you know exactly where it is. You could tell me immediately, right? And you're saying it out loud right now. But some of you don't know where it is. You just know it looks familiar. You might have seen me here before. It's as if I hang out here all the time, right? Because we did an FAQ, number 54, from right here a couple of years ago. And it's an FAQ that a lot of people need to watch to know how to search a channel for videos. But anyway, we're back again here, and we're not in Middle Tennessee, the home of Dolly Parton and Alvin York. We are in northern Arizona, southern Utah. And you know, if you've been following some of our strange activities over the last week or so, we have been at SHOT Show. And we're on the return trip now, because we tie in generally a tour of the West with SHOT Show, not just go to Las Vegas to see the bright lights and pretty firearms and pretty women, right? We want to see some pretty rocks along the way. And so this is one of my favorite spots, and John's too. It's just, it's breathtaking. It really is. A camera doesn't do it justice. It's Monument Valley. And if you've been here, you know what I'm talking about. It's like trying to take pictures of the Grand Canyon. You just really can't capture it, can you? And Monument Valley, maybe you can to some extent, pieces of it. But, you know, it's just, I mean, I'm looking at a gigantic structure right over there too, you know, bigger than these. And these are the classic, the iconic structures behind me, I think. And they're cool. The one on the right is my favorite. You know, everybody has to have a favorite rock on the planet. That's my favorite rock on the planet. All right, that's one of my screensavers on my computer that, you know, was on there for about a year after I visited here the first time, I think. It's just amazing to see these structures growing up out of the valley, the flat lands, what I'm trying to say. And it's not just these, there are hundreds of them. As you drive up through here on the way for miles and miles and miles, it's just one fascinating scene after another. So I guess I sound like a tour guide or the Chamber of Commerce, right? For the Navajo reservation, because that's where we are, really. So anyway, beautiful place to be. I love Tennessee, but this is gorgeous, and we're happy to be right here. So we have been to SHOT. This is shooting the breeze, just going to shoot the breeze. There's not a lot of breeze today. There was a lot more the last time we did something here. But what was I going to talk about? It's hard to collect my thoughts with all this beauty around. But I was going to just let you know, a reminder about the shutdown. We've done the FAQ on that, and we did a vlog and everything. And I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have caught that. But again, we thank you all for jumping in there and helping us out. We knew we had some friends. We didn't know we had so many, and with such passion. So we certainly appreciate all the folks. And we ran into so many of you at SHOT Show, you know, who mentioned having sent emails to Google and everybody, the NRA and everybody else to, hey, what's going on? Can you do something? You know, and so, you know, it was really encouraging, flattering, heartwarming, and all those things, because we were mainly just focused on, whoa, what's going on? How do we get this back up? You know, and then we find out that you guys tried to turn the internet upside down, and that was very heartening, and we appreciate it. We appreciate it. We've put a lot of time into the last 7 years just enjoying what we're doing, and doing a lot of crazy videos like this one. And we just really would rather not lose it all of a sudden, you know. But again, as I said in the FAQ, we've got Google Plus cleaned out, and we should not have any problems. We even talked to somebody at Google, made us feel a little bit better. Never know for sure, but we feel a little bit better about that too. So pretty cool spot here. We've got a little traffic. You might hear a car occasionally. It's a dirt road that winds through here, runs for about 15 miles. It's a long road for a dirt road, But we drove the entire thing last year, circled around all these. So you'll hear a car creeping by every now and then. But it's very quiet generally. I mean, extremely quiet. Pretty neat spot. But as I was saying, thanks again for your support. And we think we're okay now. And we're going to proceed. But so we came out to SHOT Show and had a great time. We came through Texas. You might have seen the M60 machine gun video. We stopped in Dallas and had some fun with Machine Gun Mike. That was great. You know, interestingly enough, the range where we shot the M60, and you might see some more activity from there. Stay tuned. Looks like we're in the desert, you know, and it's like typical misconception I think I had most of my life, or at least until I got to Texas. I thought all of Texas was kind of maybe like this, you know, or it was desert. But it's really not. If you've never been to Texas, it's much like Tennessee until you get west of Dallas. You know, so if you're in Dallas and then driving down to San Antonio and around that part of the state, I guess the Panhandle for the most part, it's not all that different from Arkansas, Tennessee, a little bit. But you get out into West Texas, though, you get very far west of like Fort Worth and out there in Midland and on out. It's very much like a desert. It is a desert. And it's fun. I love driving through there. We drove through all the way through West Texas, through El Paso and up to Las Cruces and across to Deming, New Mexico, Tombstone, and that's always a great place. I love it when we get into, of course, New Mexico is beautiful too. And when you get into southern Arizona, you start seeing the saguaro cactuses, and you get down to Tombstone, Arizona, where all the shooting took place there at the OK Corral. That's a cool place to visit. We always enjoy that. So I recommend you get to Tombstone sometime also, especially if you have a little bit of cowboy in you and you enjoy that sort of thing. Okay? So that was fun. And then we cruised on up through Phoenix and Tucson, Kingman, and landed in Las Vegas at the SHOT Show. Lots of people go to SHOT Show. Now, if you have no connection in the firearms industry, I know it's hard to get in there, but a lot of people do it. They finagle the pass, I think, to get in. If you're really friends with a gun shop, and I think a lot of people pull some strings and get in, it's pretty obvious. But it's unlike anything else. I've been to a lot of really big gun shows. The Tulsa gun shows, even the what am I trying to say? Well, Tulsa, the NRA meeting, that takes place every year. That's one of the biggest gun shows on the planet. This is even bigger than that, much bigger, and I guess more people. I mean, you cannot stir the people. You're in one of the biggest convention halls, the Sands, probably on the planet, under the Venetian Hotel. You just almost cannot get around. There's so many people in the hallways, this constant flow, it's like a cattle drive, for the entire day. It's unbelievable. But the neat thing about it is everybody there is a little bit of a gun nut, right? And you have every firearms company on the planet almost there with all their new guns, old guns. So it's one of those deals, and it's fun. We had a great trip, and we had a really good experience. We met a lot of folks. Went to the media day. We don't do video generally, those things, but we met Ermi again, and oh gosh, other YouTubers, RackVet, and I'm gonna leave out a bunch of people, but Colio Noir, we hadn't met him yet. That was great to run into him. See, Such wasn't there. Tim, Military Arms Channel. We just ran into a bunch of people. Some celebrities. We saw Steven Seagal walking by, but he was moving kind of fast. We didn't get a chance to harass him and say hi, pick a fight with him or anything. Oh man, I don't know who else. We just saw a lot of people because it's Las Vegas, so it's kind of cool. And the most important people we saw were you all, lots of you, and that was cool. We had our meet and greets, and Federal was very. They always provide a lot of hospitality. They always have this incredible booth. Vista Outdoor. Federal's a part of that. I guess the biggest construction booth in the place, And that's saying something because there's a lot of big ones, Smith & Wesson and Glock and all the big companies. But Vista Outdoor, I guess, with Federal was the biggest. They have a huge screen, like an outdoor drive-in movie or something, and an amphitheater there where people can gather. And so we had a couple of meet and greets there and talked to some of you. You might have been there. And told you a lot of boring stories, and then signed a few things, and then sent you on your way. But just an amazing event, it really is. Anybody can go to the NRA convention, though, so I don't want to build up the SHOT like if you haven't been to the SHOT show, you haven't been anywhere, because while it is pretty amazing, the NRA convention is essentially the same thing, just not quite as big. And in a way, it's better, the NRA convention or meeting, because it's anybody can go to that. It's shooters, any shooter. You don't have to be in the industry, to get in, that sort of thing. So it's pretty cool. It really is. And of course, we saw a lot of firearms, a lot of new firearms. There's no end to the types and the ideas that people come up with, and that makes it, of course, more complicated, right? More complex, more difficult for you to decide which single stack 9 you should buy or which revolver. But it all comes right down to it. It doesn't matter if there are 49 examples of a specific genre of firearm. There's a couple or three that are going to feel a little bit better to you, and they're going to be available in gun shops and gun shows. If you get around and feel those things, you can narrow it down. You don't have to own all of them, like me. And the one reason I have more than I normally would is because of what we're doing here. I hang on to firearms that I wouldn't necessarily hang on to. I might like them a little bit, might like them pretty much, but they might be firearms that, well, I'm probably not going to carry it because I prefer this one, and so trade it off like I used to do. But I'm more likely to hang on to it now just because we might want to do a comparison video later, and that sort of thing. So because of the project, I have more firearms than I would normally have. But you just have to weed them down. You really do, don't you? And while there might be 5, they're almost equally effective and feel really good to you, and you can shoot them pretty well. You just have to make a choice, and it's a process of weeding out the ones that just obviously don't fit or you cannot shoot well, and you want to get to a rental range if at all possible, and find that out. It's hard to tell just standing there holding it sometimes because they'll feel really good to you, but when you actually fire it, for some reason you realize maybe it's the trigger, the ergonomics of the trigger, the feel. You don't shoot it as well as another firearm, and that's of course of primary importance, isn't it? Yeah, it is very important. You want one that feels good to you, but you can shoot well, and it works with you. If it's for concealed carry, then it needs to fall within those guidelines, doesn't it? It needs to be small enough to carry the way you're planning to carry it. For you new people, that's really important to know how you're going to use this firearm, where it's going to be. If you think you might carry it, that opens up an entirely new world there. So you need to be thinking about holsters, how you would carry it, where you'd carry it, what you'd be wearing, clothing-wise, when you carry it, what that pistol might require you to wear that you don't want to wear in order to conceal it. So lots of those issues that you have to kind of run through, right? Talk to a lot of people, and just test a lot of guns, as many as you can, right? So trying to throw in a little practical information. I'll just give you a blow-by-blow of our trip, but we are having a great trip, and it's almost more than the mind can stand, because the traveling through the West, for me, I grew up in Tennessee and Kentucky, so all this kind of country is really novel to me, and I love it. And we could fly out here every year to the SHOT Show, but every year at the end of the SHOT Show, or by the time we get home, I always say, we need to fly next year. That 4,000, 5,000 miles, let's just fly. But I tell you, as the year rolls on by, I find myself thinking, I miss that West. And there's nothing like driving through the West, driving through the desert for hours to really soak it in and get a feel for it. Really, there's nothing that beats that. When in the 80s, I was in the publishing world. I was traveling, and I flew a lot, almost every week. And I flew out here, to California, San Francisco, or LA, or Las Vegas, several places for conventions and things, Phoenix, and even got out into the desert a little bit from there. But and I thought I kind of had a feel for it, but you really don't until you get in a car and you drive across Oklahoma, West Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, and you come up into here, the northern, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, you name it. You really don't until you drive those hours, I think, get a really good feel for it. I put that on your bucket list, okay? This is advice from me that I think is good advice. If you've not been out here in the West, if you've not been to Monument Valley, put it on your bucket list. Really do it, and try not to wait too long. It is gorgeous. It is amazing. You will love it. I promise. You will love it. So I don't know what else I can tell you that would be of any use because I really don't know a lot. I was determined to keep this shooting the breeze a little more brief. It's a little chilly out here, and we want to get on around, see some more red rocks, to tell you the truth. So again, we appreciate the support that was demonstrated when we went down. I don't think it's going to happen again. If it does, it might be more serious because we have satisfied Google in terms of getting everything off of, or making sure the Google Plus is okay. And again, partly my fault. I didn't have age restrictions set over there. I didn't even pay attention to it at all. Really didn't want to use it. Yeah, did not use it. It just was letting things post there when we posted to YouTube. So we'll see how that goes. But we think we're okay now, and we're cranking along. As I said, going to be making some more videos. We have several videos. January is a cruel month weather-wise, so is February. So fortunately, we've got some, I think, some pretty good videos for you we've already made. And there's some actual gunfire in them too. We had some fun with that M60, by the way. I know I was a little klutzy with it, but how many of you have handled an M60 on a regular basis? It's pretty much fun, but big old heavy thing. It's really awkward, but very effective, as you can tell. 7.62 by 51 coming out that fast. Whew, amazing. So anyway, we've had a lot of fun on the trip. We've shot some firearms and seen some beautiful country. It's breathtaking. You just have to be here. It's not easy to get to if you're up, to come up here to Monument Valley. It is out of the way. It really is. Hours and hours, a day or two, out of the way in terms of shooting back and forth across I-40, to the west, like a lot of people do. But it's worth it. It's worth it. So we appreciate you guys and gals more than you know, and I'm going to let you go, I guess. I don't have any more wisdom. Wisdom. Pretty funny, huh? Y'all take care. Life is good.